Hello and welcome guys to a new episode on Sport Predictor Fanatic. Today we're of course gonna talk about the final of the Euro 2024. Of course, a month long teams around Europe have fought to be at the Olympia Stadium in Berlin, but only two countries have actually made it. As always, England have made it and Spain have made it. I think England were the actual favorite, but I think Spain will actually be the favorite this match. But we'll talk about it in a bit. We're first going to talk about their journey to the actual final. Spain in the group stage beat Croatia 3-0. That was their opening game. They played very well. Then they only won 1-0 against Italy, but definitely that should have been 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, whatever. They could have won easily. And then they beat Albania 1-0, but that was with a B team because they were already through. But then in the first knockout match, they were 1-0 behind against Georgia, but then they came back, easy one, 4-1. In the quarters, they beat Germany 2-1 with a goal in extra time. I thought they were actually the better team there as well. Although they were 1-0, they were 1-0 up, I think, in the normal time. But then at the 70th minute, until the 70 minutes, they were better, but then they start falling back a bit. And then Germany scored, then they just have to play extra time. They played extra time, they played all right, and then they just came back in extra time. And in the semi-final, they also in the semi-final, they came back from 1-0 down against France and won 2-1. But yeah, I thought they actually deserved that. So yeah, that was their journey to the final. And now we have England's journey to the final. They beat Serbia 1-0 in the opening match. Then had a 1-1 draw against Denmark. And to end the group, they played 0-0 against Slovenia. Not really convincing group stage, but I mean, they made it. So that is, of course, the most important thing at that moment. And then in the first knockout match, they beat Slovakia in extra time, scoring, I think it was in extra time, scoring a 2-1, but they were actually 1-0 behind. Then he scored an overhead kick in 95th minute, I think it was, by Bellingham. And then Kane scored in the 91st minute. That was at extra time. So yeah, and then they won 2-1 with that. Then in the quarters, they beat Switzerland on penalties, which was of course nerve-wracking. But they won, I think, 5-4 it was. And then at the semis, semi-final, they beat the Netherlands 2-1, being also, I think, they also went 1-0 behind. But that was a controversial win with the penalty kick that shouldn't have been a penalty. Not because I don't think it's a fault. I did think it was penalty, but Saka touched the ball with his arm, so it should have been hands. But I mean, I'm of course from the Netherlands, so I find that very, very hard to take. But they also the first half, they were better. I'm gonna be honest, they were better. But it wasn't fun to watch as someone from the Netherlands. But that was England's journey to the final. And as I said, I think Spain are the favorites coming in here. There are a few reasons for them being the favorites. Firstly said, they've been in this is their, I think their 6th major final, and they've actually won 4 out of the previous 5 finals. So that is already a massive stat for a country like that. They also have an 8-match winning streak going on at the moment. The last time they actually managed to get a 9-match winning streak. They they actually won the Euros. That was back in 2012. So history could repeat itself here. But a win would not only give them their fourth European Championship, they would also be the only country with this many European titles. They now share the record with Germany, of course, the host country. They could be like the only ones on top. And Luis de la Fuente, of course, the coach of Spain, is no stranger to actually winning European Championship, as he's already done this with Spain with the under 19 and the under 23 side. Which I think will give you a little bit of a mental extra, being the coach. But England, of course, still many chances. After like a not great match from England, they will be really happy to be here at the final. Even though they didn't play great, they still won their matches they needed to win. And I think their last match was actually the best match. So the Netherlands match was definitely the best match. So they can draw fate out of that. And also I think I hear a lot of Southgate out, which I get because he plays some boring football. But he plays winning football. And I'm not just saying that. He plays winning football. Like, this is already the second time he is at a final at a major tournament. And Southgate is actually the first manager for England to ever do this. So yeah, that's quite cool. And like, he also can have faith in his super subbing, because the last goal from England that was in the 90th minute or something against the Netherlands were actually an assist from a sub and a goal from a sub. So just saying, this will definitely be a confident boost for them, also beating the Netherlands, because this is actually the highest team they have knocked out of a tournament since 1996, where they beat Spain. Also, England actually have a perfect record against Spain at the Euros with 4 Ws, which is quite impressive actually. And England are also the first team ever to reach the final while being behind at the quarterfinals and being behind at the semis. So that's quite cool. And I think they are also behind at the 1A final, if I'm correct. Yeah, they were. They definitely were. And I think the player to watch for Spain will be Lamine Yamal. He's of course become the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Euro/World Cup. He's turning 17, I think, the day before the final. And he could actually give himself a late birthday present with scoring or assisting in the final. Or winning the final, even with him not contributing, will be great for him, of course, as well. But Yamal has actually contributed to a goal every match in the knockout stage, with 2 assists and 1 goal. I think actually the player to watch for England will be Harry Kane. Although he has shown he's not the best in finals and he didn't have the best tournament, I still think he can make a difference here. The penalty against the Netherlands, I think, will give him a boost as well, because with that he's actually the all-time top scorer in the knockout stages of the Euros, with now 6 goals at those knockout stages, which is considerably good. Then we're just gonna throw out a hot stat here, because I find this pretty interesting. Both Spain and England have not conceded more than 1 goal this tournament. So their defense has actually done really well. But yeah, now to my actual prediction. See, I think it's a final. That's a pretty nervy match, a match where it doesn't get scored that much. And I'm actually expecting the same here as well. What I'm expecting is that Spain is going to win with 1-0, maybe at extra time with 0-0 being the score after 90 minutes. But I think Spain is going to win 1-0. If it becomes to penalties, I actually think England is going to win. But I think, as I said, I think it's going to be Spain. And with that, we have predicted the whole Euros now. What I'm going to do is at the end of the Euros, I will, because I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. I'm going to write down all the predictions I made, and then I'm going to see how well or bad I did. I'm saying probably bad. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that good with countries. Like I'm better with leagues, like Premier League, La Liga. I think I'm better in predicting that than I'm predicting matches with countries. I'm gonna be honest with that. But we're gonna see how we did. But for now, but I wanna thank y'all for watching. Please have a good day, and I will see you.